In the deep green forest of Pandora, the afternoon light was shimmering through the shadowy surroundings. Jake Sully, in his avatar body, walked wide-eyed through this alien world, surprised by its beauty. Suddenly, he noticed strange, spiral-shaped plants standing tall among the grass. Curious, Jake touched one. Instantly, the plant curled up and hid into the ground. Surprised, he touched another, and that too vanished into the earth. As he kept touching, the effect spread like waves. The entire part of plants curled up and disappeared into the soil with a rustling sound. Within moments, the place was cleared, and Jake realized something terrifying was about to appear. From the empty space, a massive beast rose up, trembling the ground. Its dark gray body looked like a gigantic, six-legged rhino, twice the size of Earth's rhinoceros. Its head had a broad, hammer-like skull, like a hammerhead shark's bone plate. Each step made the earth tremble. Its burning eyes locked onto Jake, staring as if to pierce him. With shocked, Jake raised his rifle, but Dr. Grace's urgent voice came through his headset.
Don't shoot. Don't shoot. You'll piss him off.
Jake replied, panicked.
It's already pissed off.
Really, the beast was already snorting excitedly through its massive nostrils. Dr. Grace warned again.
Jake, that armor's too thick. Trust me.
Already, the hammerhead Titanotheer began strongly stamping its feet on the ground, showing its dominance. Dr. Grace explained quickly.
It's a territorial threat display. Do not run.
Jake, sweating, asked nervously.
So what do? Dance with it?
Dr. Grace's strong reply came.
Just hold your ground.
Though terrified, Jake obeyed, standing steadily. Suddenly, the beast roared and attacked, lowering its massive head. In a shocking move, Jake spread his arms wide, shouted back with all his strength, and ran direct at the monster. Surprised, the giant animal froze in confusion, then quickly turned away and returned into the forest, breaking through trees as it fled. Jake was shocked. He had actually afraid it off. Breathless and overjoyed, he shouted,
"Oh yeah, who's bad? That's right.
And with reckless excitement, he added,
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about, bitch."
His shouts reflected through the jungle, but his victory was short-lived. From behind, a deep, thunder-like growl shook the air. Jake turned and froze. A shadow jumped over him and landed with an earth-shaking sound between him and the going-back rhino beast. The ground shook violently. At last, the deadly hunter of Pandora published itself, the Thanator. It was a monstrous, black, six-legged cat, armored plates along its back, its massive jaws wide open. The roar it released was deafening, filled with anger at losing its victims. Then, with glowing yellow eyes, it turned toward Jake. Its red tongue lashed, sharp teeth gleamed, and the spines on its neck flushed in bright red and yellow. It was the ultimate hunter, and Jake was its next target. Jake's courage vanished. Trembling, he whispered into his headset.
So what about this one? Run? Don't run? What?
Dr. Grace answered sharply.
Run! Definitely run!
Jake started running at once. The Thanator followed like a living nightmare, breaking trees aside as it rushed after him. The jungle became a deadly racetrack, Jake weaving through roots, stumbling past bushes, the beast right behind, tearing through blocks. Once, it almost caught him with a massive claw, but he dodged into a root maze. The Thanator broke the roots with comfort, small pieces of roots raining down as Jake merely escaped. In desperation, he turned and fired his rifle. Bullets hit into the Thanator with metallic clangs. It stumbled, howling in rage, but it was unharmed. In fury, the Thanator snatched the gun in its jaws and crushed it like paper, then broke a tree trunk for show-off strength. Jake's blood ran cold. He had no weapon left. Moments later, the monster jumped and locked its jaws on him. But luckily, it only caught his backpack, not his body. The beast shook him violently in the air like a rag doll. Desperate, Jake opened his bag straps, fell to the ground, and rolled away as the Thanator tore his pack to pieces. Using those few seconds, he ran again. In front, a river is visible, and right beyond it, there is a deep gorge. There is probably a huge waterfall there. Jake had no time to think. The Angel of Death was chasing him from behind. In a final effort, he ran straight ahead, reached the edge of the cliff, and with all his strength hurled himself forward, aiming for the river's water below. At that exact moment, the Thanator leapt from behind and almost landed on him, striking out with its long claws, but Jake jumped into the air just in time. In the very next moment, Jake fell into the river water below with a loud splash at high speed. But the monster didn't give up. It scrambled down the rocks and leapt onto boulders, striking at Jake in the water. Jake dove underwater, barely avoiding its claws, slashing the surface like a bear fishing for salmon. In this deadly struggle, the current gradually carried Jake toward the edge of the waterfall. He surfaced once, only to see the edge approaching. The strong current was still carrying him along, and as he floated, the feeble Jake searched around for any shelter of life. Fortunately, he came across a thick branch of a fallen tree floating nearby and desperately clutched it. Jake barely pulling himself onto the tree roots and panted helplessly, gasping for breath. The Thanator made one last leap but missed. It stood at the edge, roaring in frustration. Its cry was resounding across the forest. After a while, Jake somehow pushed off the tree roots and made it to the riverbank. His entire body was covered with countless cuts and scratches over bluish skin, water dripping from his nose and mouth. Yet, miraculously, Jake had survived. Just minutes ago, the monster that had almost consumed him, Jake had defeated death and ran away from its grasp. The surrounding jungle fell silent again, and only the deep roar of a distant waterfall could be heard. Jake felt that his heart was still pounding like a war shield, and the wave of adrenaline in his blood was slowly subsiding. Controlling himself, Jake slowly stood up and with all his strength adjusted his injured body. The sun is setting over Pandora's sky and the shadows of evening are falling across the forest. He had many thrilling experiences in his life, but he had never experienced a moment as breathless, terrifying, and full of thrill as this one. Jake realizes that this world is not only beautiful, but also dangerous. If he is to survive here, he will have to learn to face creatures like these.